for hearing this. We thank you for pressing play on another edition of It's a Triple Life podcast with Brandon and Lorin. And this week we are diving into the return of HBO's Emmy-winning controversial series Euphoria. Been 4 long years since the last season aired. A lot of stuff has happened since then, and we are back with Rue and also high school friends as they have now graduated. It's 5 years into the future, so they are young adults now, trying to balance life. We'll review those first 2 episodes. We'll also discuss some other things we've been watching, especially some movies. But first up, how's your week been going?
It was pretty good this time around. I think the last time we spoke, it was the whole thing with the water heater, so that issue's been solved. But this weekend really didn't do too much. The weather was nice, but I still just stayed in. So yeah, it was all right.
Speaking of water heaters, we need a new one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so some guy checked it and it was leaking some, so they told us it's time for a new one. So we had to get that. I think it'll be here tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
It's at around $1,600.
Yeah. And the thing is, they just don't last as long as I think they used to. Nothing does anymore. Everything made today is made poorly, but yeah.
So yeah, that's the next project. So hopefully we get that together before the weather gets any crazier or whatnot. Yeah, everything's pretty good here. We had some church stuff. That's why my voice is a little... I was singing 8 songs and the weather and everything. It's just a lot going on. So
it's too much.
But we'll go ahead and get some headlines. And this week we're going to discuss CinemaCon. Mm-hmm. So this is the new sort of what you call festival where the studios gather to preview their upcoming films for within the next year. It was April the 13th to the 16th. I believe it's usually in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think so. I think that
mistaken.
It was, yeah.
And we just kind of highlight the films we're most looking forward to. So just in the near future, which will be next month, May 1st, Devil Wears Prada 2 will come out. We've got most of the same cast returning: Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt. I know at first I was not really interested in what this is going to give, but since the trailer came out and the hype, I'm kind of on board for it. What's your take?
Yeah, I agree. I think part of me, what made me hesitate a little bit was it's been so long since, the first one. But it does look good. Everybody, like you said, is back, so that makes it a little bit more enticing. And I think it'll be fun. Hopefully it does well. I think it will.
Yeah. But I continue sort of like the box office is kind of on right now.
Right.
Let's see. And the next closest one on my list would be The Mandalorian and Grogu on May 28th. This is Disney's big, I guess, conclusion to their series, The Mandalorian. You'll have Pedro Pascal reprising his role as the silent sort of bounty hunter who's had a change of heart when he discovered that the Empire wanted to steal the power of this alien who is a species of what Yoda is in the series. So other stars in it. I think the only other cast member I really know is Sigourney Weaver is in it. And Jeremy Allen White will voice what's that guy's name? The Hutt, the villain guy. He'll voice his son.
Jabba the Hutt, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. He'll voice Jabba the Hutt's son in this film. So I don't know if fans will turn on it. They kind of turn on The Mandalorian, given it's too amp, I guess. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. Any other main movies for you?
For me, it's one I talked about earlier, and that's Disclosure Day. That comes out June 12th. Again, it stars Josh O'Connor. It's about aliens. I think that would be pretty good. The Odyssey is July 17th. I think that's going to be huge. I think that's going to be one that's like, I hope it's on the level of like The Gladiator in terms of just how big of a production it is. So I think that's really going to be good. And then there's some other ones on there that I didn't even know about. One I saw the movie Sense and Sensibility years ago, and it's become one of my favorite movies. It's a period piece. I did not realize they were redoing that, but that's supposed to come out this October. So I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay. So I guess we'll see how that goes. I was like, wow, that's a choice, but
let's see. I also have only in June. Um, I'm going to stop trying to resist it. Toy Story 5
oh
is semi appealing, especially the introduction of the dreaded iPad or screening device that's
yeah,
kind of
right.
taken over the child's life. So that may be interesting. And then DC has Supergirl on June 26th. I really enjoy Superman as someone who was not a fan of his films. I like this one from DC. We
Okay.
get Supergirl centered here. And of course, there's other news around the sequel to Superman, Man of Tomorrow. They've announced some casting stuff. What's his name from The Wire? Lord, I'm forgetting his name. One, shoot, Andre Royo, I think it is.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
me.
Andre Royo, who was known as Bubbles in The Wire. He has
Oh,
been
okay.
cast as Martian Manhunter in the sequel. That's a role that's been famously played by Carl Lumbly, David Harwood on the TV show. So
Okay.
that should be interesting.
Yeah.
That's still a long ways to go. That's not till next year. And speaking of further along this year, of course, December is going to bring us the highly anticipated Avengers Doomsday. This
Yeah.
is they're pushing this as like the next end game in the MCU, and I don't want to get my hopes too high.
Right.
I
Yeah. And then it
just
falls flat. Yeah.
mhm. I don't really know the story other than Robert Downey Jr. is returning as Doctor Doom. So I guess in some alternate universe in the comics, Tony Stark did become Doom, but I don't think that's the story they're going with. But I'm not really sure. I have no
Okay.
idea. So
Hmm.
and then next year, other ones on my list. March 5th, Michael B. Jordan will drop his adaptation of the Thomas Crown Affair.
Yes. I remember that. Yeah.
There's the original one, and then of course the one I'm most familiar with was with Pierce Brosnan in the '90s. This will star Jordan and make sure I get her name right. The girl from Andor, the A name, Adria Arjona. He played Bix in Andor, so she will be
Okay.
sort of like his counterpart in this film. Mhm. Also, next year we will finally get Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that was a
This
big
is
one
the
too.
installment in this trilogy. They previewed some screenshots and I think a bit of footage at CinemaCon. So I'm really excited to see how that comes together. It's one of my favorite franchises in the recent years. DC will have Clayface. Yeah, a
No.
film about about the villain from the Batman animated series. So someone will play Clayface, who I think a canon. He was an actor. Some type of experiment goes wrong to where he's able to morph his body into other people as he became like this clay person. So I
Wow.
think it's supposed to be sold as like some type of horror, I
Okay.
believe. And then there's been some news about Batman 2. I think it's supposed to be coming next year as well, eventually. But Sebastian Stan's been announced as playing Harvey Dent. So that should be interesting. Scarlett Johansson's playing, I think, his sister. She's
Hmm.
playing somebody.
It's
One
good.
of the Dents.
Oh,
I'm not
nothing.
sure which one.
Oh.
And then I know you didn't watch Game of Thrones, but one of the actors from there is going to play his father.
Okay.
So yeah. And my last one, of course, I haven't heard anything about this in a long time, but they had footage of Children of Blood and Bone, which is the adaptation of the book. It's like a African fantasy
Yeah.
novel. Everybody's in this, from Viola Davis to to all the new blacks. All new blacks are in it.
Shit. That's crazy. Okay.
But it's being directed by Gina Braithwaite Prince, who directed the first, The Old Guard. So she's
Okay.
handling this one.
All right.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure when it's supposed to come out, but it's supposed to be next year.
Yeah, they get a lot off in those few days there and the at that CinemaCon, and there's like every big distributor is there, and they do it by the day. It's pretty interesting. But I did see there's going to be a new, I guess, Meet the Fockers, and this involves Ariana Grande called, I think it's The Fockers in Law or something like that. So that's
Yeah,
another. Jessica Chastain is in a film called Other Mommy, which I didn't really get the trailer, but it looks like there's two versions of her, and one of them is like evil, essentially. So I had to watch that trailer again. I didn't pay too
interesting.
much attention. I just saw her name, and that kind of drew me to it. Um,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is involved in a couple more things. I think there's another Top Gun, and then a film called
Mhm.
Digger. And then I saw that there's going to be a Snoop Dogg biopic, which is interesting. So,
Right. I think they announced that shortly after Straight Outta Compton. It's just been
oh wow,
forever to get into production.
yeah. And that could be interesting because as much as we see Snoop Dogg and we know a large part of his life, that would to see that would be, yeah, I'm sure we learned something new. So
Kind of
that's cool.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of movies are on the docket. Hopefully they all on time.
yeah. Oh, and then the last one, there was something about Jumanji, and that one stuck out to me because when even as a kid when I saw the first Jumanji, I was like, just doesn't really strike me as something that needs more. I know there was like another one a few years ago, but like
Yeah, they're making the third one. And
it
it's
just didn't.
not
It's not the same
it
vibe.
it doesn't have anything to do with the original. It's more of like
Yeah,
a slapstick comedy. No. Jumanji was Jumanji.
yeah, and because
Like,
the way that movie ended, when you hear the drum beats again as the game is being sent away, yeah, yeah, the that movie came out in like 1995. That sequel needed to come out in like 1997. The time is done. Let it rest. Let it rest.
yeah, because now it's like any other video game sort of adaptation. It's just kind of ridiculous.
No, it's just not good.
And speaking of, I don't know if it was at CinemaCon, it might have been, but they released a full Street Fighter trailer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're definitely playing up to be more camp, more outrageous, video game accurate. I know the first one's sort of like a flop. I think it flopped worse than Mortal Kombat. Like, people
Wow.
don't like the Street Fighter film like they do the first Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's sort of classic because it's the only one live action. But this one is definitely sort of like embracing sort of the ridiculousness of the 90s original. The cast is sort of all over the place, but I think fans are hype about it.
That's good. Yeah.
And that comes out in October. It will come out after Mortal Kombat 2, which is due this
Yeah.
summer.
And hopefully that one's better because boy, that first one was trash.
Yeah, I was just so upset. I was in the
Yeah.
theater just like, who is this? They're
Right.
not in the game. They're not from any of the games. Why are you creating a character? Like, Mortal Kombat X literally handed you
Yeah.
movie scripts. What are we doing?
It's a lot.
But anywho, let's go ahead and get into our feature presentation.
All right.
We are talking about the third season of Euphoria. If you don't know what this show is, I don't know where you've been, but it's HBO's big Sam Levinson franchise. Premiered back in 2019, so it's been around for a minute. But given the strike, internal turmoil, and unfortunately, the death of not just one but two actors now from the series. It's been in gestation
Yeah,
for a
it's
while.
been right, right.
Yeah, so we finally have the third season premiere April 12th, and our students who are Rue Bennett's sisters Lexi and Cassie, Maddie, and Nate Jacobs are all grown up and navigate adulthood
Right.
um, in Southern California. Oh, and Jules, I forgot
Yeah,
Jules.
yeah,
And they are sort of dealing with the issues of adulthood. Some of the issues still stem from high school since they haven't really all been connected in a certain way. And we still have Rue navigating or narrating everyone's lives. So, first episode was on delay. What do you think of this reintroduction to the series?
there was a lot going on, and I wish it hadn't have been almost an hour and a half. So that's where I'll start. But um, it to, it kind of got you back into the world of like where the last one left off. Rue was in trouble with the whole drug situation, so you see her, being a mule, like she says, and reintroduces the characters and where they are. And I thought it was decent. I thought it was all right, but it's hard after those 4 years, like you said, to just believe that like this is where they are. I think like yeah, that's kind of what is keeping me from fully getting engaged. But there were some good moments, some of the humor that we see, some of the outrageousness that we're used to. Um, I still can't stand Jacob Elordi's character. Like I think out of all the characters on the show, he's the one I just do not care for, and that has continued on to these two episodes. But as for the story itself, I guess I'm curious to see how it goes or how he plans to tie all this up at the end.
Together.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I will agree. It was a nice reintroduction. Of course, Rue is having to work off her debt with Lori, who she escaped from the last season. That's where she's at. It's interesting. It is a different feel altogether.
yeah,
Um, the previous two seasons sort of like that surrealism
right,
and distinct sound because of Labyrinth doing the soundtrack. That's all
right,
gone now. So it does feel like a different show. And I
right.
guess it would have to, given we're supposed to be adults,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. They left their bubble,
But
so yeah,
it's interesting. I think it got more interesting by the second episode, just because we had the development of sort of this not murder, but death mystery
yeah,
that Rue kind of gets tangled up in. And then, of course, the reintroduction of Maddie and Cassie, which I think is one of the stronger narratives thus far,
hmm,
because it is one of the stories that reaches back to the original,
yes. Like seasons, yeah,
yeah, seasons, yeah, because they're both clearly like they haven't seen each other since high school after being friends. Mm. They both have ulterior motives.
right.
So it's very interesting to see how it's going to work out. I will say I was scrolling on Instagram and who are the sportcasters of the podcast? Mimi, what's her last name? Kim's. Am I saying her first name right?
Hmm? Oh,
She's on ESPN.
Mina Kimes.
Yes, Mina
Yeah,
Kimes. Yeah, the podcast she has
yeah,
with the black guy. They discuss like shows and stuff, and they point out a good thing that yeah, we're kind of happy the show is back, but there's just this dangerousness that's no longer there.
yeah. Absolutely.
Because he described how, in the original season, you had teenagers exploring their sexuality
Exactly.
and the idea of an OnlyFans and stuff like that. So now to have Cassie exploring like she never heard of it just feels
Kind of
reductive. You know what I
right.
mean?
And like I said, the last two seasons, the city and the school in which they inhabited in itself was a character, and now that's gone. They're in the world. They're not closed in. They don't have rules. You're adults with real risk. Not that the risks weren't real when they were teens, but it was.
Right.
It's like expected. Like you're a teenager. What could happen? You're adult now. You know what's going to happen if you do this. Like it's just a different, completely different vibe. So
Yeah. Any new characters stand out to you at all?
well, in the second episode, we'll just kind of blend these together. I think her name is probably the part most people are going to pull apart is Angel. I think
Yeah.
that's the stripper's name. Alamo, that guy, that he's a great villain so far, but yeah, I think after the second episode, people are going to be like, well, what happened? And that's where a lot of the theory is going to come from. I guess we'll find out.
Mhm.
But yeah, she's the one that sticks out the most, I think.
Yeah, same here. Because I think even spoilers, just so
Right.
you know, I don't think that rehab place is a rehab place
Not at
at
all.
all.
No. She's
Like,
definitely going somewhere that,
yeah, we're never gonna see her again.
yeah, she's either going to be killed or trafficked. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Rue, do not leave her there because
There's no paperwork.
it,
There's nothing.
it wasn't giving rehab. It was
No.
giving, I don't know.
Right.
It's just not good
No.
at all.
Wrong.
I also did like Kadeem Harrison's character.
Mm.
And Easter egg, Kadeem and Zendaya worked together on her Disney show. He was her
Oh,
father in the
interesting.
series she had there. So they're kind of reuniting in like her adulthood,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice for behind the scenes. Yeah, I think
Oh,
as the show goes, oh, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say on that scene where they go and Rue goes to the party. Was that Marshawn Lynch in the pool?
Yes,
Yeah, I
he's
caught
one
me
of
off.
the
Yeah,
he's one of Alamo's henchmen.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
hold on a second. I swear that's him. So yeah, okay,
Yeah, I think the cast is one of the exciting parts of the show because
yeah,
they announced so many big names. I'm interested to see how they come
together. Yeah,
into the series. Given the second episode, we finally are reunited with Eric Dane's Cap,
that too. Yeah,
and we can visibly see how the ASL was sort of limiting his functions.
yeah,
He's still delivering the lines, but his speech is
right,
definitely sort of inebriated. His movements, he's not doing a lot. So this was
right.
definitely like his last role before he was unable to actually work like he wanted to.
And that's interesting because I've seen other shows that have had that, and it is kind of shocking. There's a show Psych. This is completely different, but one of the characters, well, the actor's name is Timothy Olmenson, and he had a stroke. And so in between a season, in between they made like a for TV film, and you could just see it. They literally could only focus on like his head just because he didn't have full range of motion, and that's what this reminded me of. And it is very sad. It's kind of just like damn, because
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm trying to, of course, we know now, but Sam Levinson specifically said he decided to keep Fezzo's character alive
hmm
in the show, which works. Unfortunately, Fez is in the feds, which makes sense
right, right,
for the end of season two. Like, he wasn't going to just be let go after his
yeah,
brother tried to kill the police. So yeah, so that's a nice touch and sort of a good honor to Angus Cloud's memory.
yeah,
Mm. But yeah, I like where the other characters are at. I'm enjoying Lexi. Hope we get to see more of her with
hmm
Sharon Stone. Um, and Molly Ringwald is Maddie's. Molly Ringwald comes in here somewhere. I don't
yeah,
know where, but somehow. Like this, the casting is just kind of
all over the
insane.
place. Yeah, yeah,
It still looks good. They're using those Kodak film cameras to perfection. I just, I just hope it keeps people's interest because it is a different tone.
right, exactly. And I think it'll be interesting as the season goes on to see which characters have matured if at all. Now, granted, there's 4 years
Yeah.
separated, so they're still young, but like you're seeing Rue make the same mistakes we saw in previous seasons, and it's just like, okay, at some point you gotta stop being so naive. But we'll see how these characters develop as it goes on. So
Yeah. We see her reunite with Jules by
hmm
the end of episode 2, who is now a little like sugar baby
right,
living in the paid penthouse and whatnot. And they both know that their relationship was not healthy, but they
right.
into old habits. So new episodes of Euphoria air at 9 p.m. on HBO and HBO Max on Sundays. So we'll have episode 3 this coming week.
Yep.
And now we're going to get into our streams of the week. We'll go first just to run the mill of the series I've been watching. Daredevil Born Again has been really good. We are on episode 5. Just this last week, the grand design, and they delivered a shocking character death, which many people were kind of suspecting just because of certain cues and whatnot in the storyline. But many thought they'd be, severely injured or have some type of irreparable damage. But no, this character did die, so it's going to definitely set up shift for our antagonists. As this character was someone dear to them. So we're going to see the wrath of Kingpin sort of erupt in New York City.
Yeah.
And this week, I believe we'll finally get Kristen Ritter's Jessica Jones in the show. Everyone's been waiting for this moment. We'll be happy to have her back, that character, in the season. The Pitt season 2 had their finale last week on Thursday. I think people felt different from this season just because there wasn't a lot of quote unquote action,
Yeah.
like crazy patient stories or situations. But I think this season definitely focused more on the eternal struggles, especially with the medical staff, all the constant trauma and whatnot. We saw that clearly with Noah Wiley's character throughout the season. But another spectacular season of television. The Boys is happening on Prime Video.
Okay.
Just got episode 3. They're still trying to kill Homelander with a soup killing virus.
Yeah.
It works very lethally, but it could kill. Humans are immune, soups are not, but it seems like the last of it is gone, so they have to search for more,
Um,
basically. Yeah, so it's going to be to the last to get some
yeah.
more for both sides. Season is pretty good. Anthony Starr, he's never been nominated for anything for this role, definitely deserves something.
Okay. Yeah.
It's Homelander because it's brilliant the way he plays that menace. Ultimately, he is the villain, scary figure, but beneath the facade, he's a ball of insecurity, which kind of drives
Right.
his
Right.
insanity. It's very comparable to the man in the White House. Like it's very clear who he's supposed to
Right.
represent. And then finally, I finished The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins on NBC. If you're a Tracy Morgan fan and enjoy football and good comedy, it's a great show. It's only 10
Yeah.
episodes. They're all on Peacock now. Um, you wouldn't think it would work because it's Tracy Morgan and Daniel Radcliffe,
Right. It's such a
but
weird
it,
thing.
it works. It works so great, and the cliffhanger in the final scene definitely sets up a potential second season for these characters. I hope they get renewed because it's just a fun show, and the cast is great. Everybody in the cast is great, so I'm rooting for season 2.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good about that, so I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, that would be good.
I will get into our movie here. It looks like we both watched this film, so we'll get into it. My Father's Shadow. This was a BAFTA-winning film from a very young director. I believe it was a short that he turned into a feature, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Okay.
Maybe I'm tripping, but I do know it's sort of semi. autobiographical about his own upbringing with his father. So the film is by mm,
I think his name's pronounced,
Akinola,
yeah, Davies, Akinola, yeah.
yeah, Akinola Davies Jr. And he won a BAFTA award for this. He's the one that actually voiced support for Palestine as a BAFTAs, and they bleeped it out.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
him. So the film is about two brothers who spend the day with their father, who works far from home in Lagos, Nigeria. This is 1993 during a very tumultuous election. Military force is sort of bound in the city. They spend a day with him, and through their time with him, they kind of explore not only the political strife that's around them, but sort of like the man he is
yeah.
to them, to those that they interact with, which is very profound. What were your thoughts on this movie?
I really enjoyed it. Going into it, yeah, I knew that it had done well at the BAFTAs and that it was kind of highly regarded, but um, it was shot beautifully. The costumes and everything, well, not costumes, but just the clothing really looked of the time. And films like
Hmm.
this are always great because obviously we're Americans, so we don't know everything. But so you did have this kind of story about a father of this, and then the background where you're getting a little bit of a history lesson and just everything. And yeah, like you said, it was during a tumultuous time, which I think really that scene, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene when everything kind of comes to a boil with the government, and that one was kind of like it was very intense. Like, wow, like what's going to happen next? Like, will they get out of this? Da 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 da. But
Hmm.
yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. I'm always so impressed by children who can act so well and display such a range of emotions and convey a message without a problem. So kudos to them. But um, yeah, and I don't want to mess up his name, but I think his name is Sope Derisu, the main character. Um,
Hmm.
he's got a wild range of talent himself. He's been in so many different roles, and it seems like every time
Yeah.
I see him, he's taken on a different genre. So uh, yeah, I hope he continues to get picked up for more roles because he's very good.
Yeah, I agree. The two young actors playing his sons were excellent.
Yeah,
Just the way they would convey not only like that childlike awe,
right,
but also seriousness and honesty, because
right,
children kind of always speak the truth.
right.
And that I love that with them. And then their interactions with him as their father,
Yeah,
the way he kind of tried to shield them from the realities that they were experiencing.
right,
Mm. That ending, it rocked me. Like I was not prepared for how it summed up. Definitely
right,
thought it was going to go a different way, since we didn't see a certain character only in like shots that seemed like they were gone
right.
throughout
Yeah,
the film, and then realized it was the other way. I lost it. I was like,
this is very
but
good.
it was beautifully done. Um, and yeah, I've been a fan of Sope since I believe Humans, where he played one of
Yeah,
the like humanoid robots on a short-lived series. And from there he's just shown up. He's never had a bad role.
no, and he really did it on whatchamacallit, Gangs of London. He was kind of like a main character in that, you could say. And then he had the other
Hmm.
film. Uh, oh, it's like a horror film, His House, which I think again was
His
set. I don't know if
house.
that was set in Nigeria or not.
I think
Yeah,
it
I can't remember
was
that, but that was very good.
I think they were immigrants from Africa, but they were moving to the UK in that
Oh,
film.
okay, okay, yeah,
And like, because the house they lived
yeah,
in, like they had, yeah, that was a good friend with him and Wunmi Musaku.
right.
Yeah, so definitely
So,
check out My Father's Shadow. It's currently on Mubi. You can also rent it right now for $15 on Prime Video.
yeah, it's an insane price.
I mean, you're essentially buying it then for
Yeah, at that point,
$15.
yeah, you would,
Just go on Apple and buy it and have
absolutely.
it. Yeah, excellent film, and it's not too long. Hour
No,
thirty
not at all.
four.
Yeah.
So it wraps up very nicely. Yeah, but from there we go into your streams.
Yeah. So actually, I had some movies that I had previously watched, and I kind of rewatched them just for the sake of really, really focusing on them. And one of those was The History of Sound, and this one was kind of billed as like to be this big film because it stars Josh O'Connor and Paul Mescal. This is also a movie. All these films will be, and it's good, and it does tell a great story about kind of like this pre-war, in between wars. It's kind of as World War One is happening, World War Two is in the distance, but these two guys who are traveling around the United States and kind of the history of folk and American music, and that parts of it is good, but something about it is just very, very flat. I can't really put it into
Mm.
words, and I think maybe it's the hype of having these two uh, good actors, and the story just doesn't come out in the way that you expect it. But um, there are some good moments, and they do put in good performances. But I think maybe the story itself just isn't as exciting as like you
Mm.
would think. So, but yeah, it covers a long span of time. This covers from like I don't know, like the early 1917 to almost like you see parts of it through like the 1980s, which is very interesting.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's decent. Worth the watch, I would say. But yeah, it didn't really live up to the hype. And then the other one, The Mastermind, again stars Josh O'Connor, and this had the opposite effect on me. Well, not the opposite effect. A lot of people didn't like it, said it needed to have more in it. But as I watched the film, it was good. It tells the story of a man who has lost his job, um, has a wife who's kind of dependent on him, but she has a job and just has the pressure from both his family, his parents. And so to make money, he thinks about stealing art from the local museum. The problem with that is that he doesn't think
Mm.
it through. He doesn't know if the art is even valuable, and he picks up a straggler to help with this because one of the guys dropped out, and that's where things gets rough because the straggler flashes a gun and ends up committing another crime, gets nabbed, and he kind of snitches. He tells his name, but as I was watching this film, it kind of followed the same trajectory of so many like heist films and uh, man down his luck films. This would have been a perfect comedy. If this had comedic elements in it, like if you ever
Mm.
watched this film, you could see what I mean because he is a bad robber. He is kind of a low life. If they had thrown in
Oof.
comedy in
Yeah.
this, I think this would have been really good, and that's all I could think. But yeah, still a good film. I enjoyed it, and the movie has great music. Like it's like jazz and kind of funk music from that era, so that's very good. So yeah, and then I'll keep this one brief. I also watched Plain Clothes, also on movies, like we're doing advertising for them. Um, this this follows a young man who is a cop who catches um, gay men in the mall. They've kind of set up how do you say it? Like a sting operation. He's learned
Yeah,
signals and different
entrapment.
things and how to right entrapment to find these young men who are looking to have essentially sex or hook up in the bathroom there, and then he like bam, you're arrested. The problem, not the problem. The thing is, he is also kind of trying to push down the fact that he too is attracted to men, and this is it's an interesting kind of I don't know way to put it. Like I don't know the right word for it, but the fact that he is signed on for this, while also trying to push it down is almost like cruel in two ways: cruel to the people who he's clearly attracted to, and cruel to himself. Um, but but it's good. But eventually, he meets somebody who he is willing to risk a lot for, and they have kind of I guess, a dalliance of a relationship that blooms. But the ending of it just blew my mind. Now, have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw it at
Yeah.
Sundance
Okay.
last year.
So yeah, right. So I won't ruin the ending for anybody that hasn't seen it, but the whole thing with like the letter and the name and everything, I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah,
Wait a
it
second.
was. They built the tension up very well.
so well. Yeah, and it was so tense in the kitchen and everything, and yeah, but there were a lot of tense moments in that, and the film has so many like close up shots where you cannot escape the expressions of his face, and just um, but yeah, really really good film. So if you have movie, check that out for sure.
Yeah, I really liked that movie. Um, War season came and went, and it just sort of
Right. Yeah.
escaped everywhere. But it's done very well.
Right.
And the actors were really good in it.
And then the last thing, I have started season 2 of Beef, and all the episodes drop the 16th, which would have been last Thursday. And I've got through 2. And so far, it's very good. And this season, obviously, it's anthology, so kind of the same story, but they've changed the cast. This one has Oscar Isaacs, Carey Mulligan, oh my lord, Charles Melton, and the one I've not seen her in anything. She was new to me, but Kaylee Spaney. I hope that's how you say her name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen her in. She's in Civil War. Um, and I think something else, but I think I most know her for Civil War. She plays Kirsten Dunst's like apprentice.
right. And yeah, and so this one takes place at like kind of like a country club. Kaylee Spaney and oh, I just said his name, Melton. God, what was his? I just literally said his first.
Charles.
Yes, thank you, Charles Melton. Melton. Blah, are a young couple, and they are kind of observing an older couple, rich couple, and one of them who is their boss essentially. So it creates this interesting dynamic. But like I said, I've only gotten through 2 episodes, and it still feels the same as the first season. I think everybody's gonna hail that first season as the best ever, but this one
Right. Yeah.
is packing a punch too. So I'm excited to see what else is in there.
Okay. I've only seen the first episode so far, but
Okay.
it does feel like the show, just
Right.
sort of
Yeah.
different characters, sort of slightly different dynamics, but
Yeah.
those sort of similar themes.
I saw so many people just kind of Instagram comments on websites saying, "Oh, it's trying to be like the White Lotus," and I don't think it is at all. I can see it because they're at a country club and there's rich people, but if you watch the first season and said it's trying to be like a White Lotus, it has to be just because it's an anthology. Like that's it.
Right.
That's the only
And
thing.
class and status was always part of
Yeah,
the show, so
yeah. I thought that was very strange.
brings us to the end of this episode. If you made it this far, we thank you for listening to the full episode of It's a Stream of Life podcast with Brandon and Lauren. We will return next time. I'm talking about the next episode of Euphoria.
Mhm.
I don't know if there are any movies coming out. Um,
Uh, I don't know if
oh,
I'm gonna
Michael.
Michael. Yeah, I think that comes out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm still. I don't know. When they say about the people of Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like okay, that film was basically just like a concert.
Yeah, I hope it does well. I hope it isn't like just doesn't like fall flat. I feel like a lot of people go see it, but I hope the story itself is genuinely
Yeah,
told.
yeah,
Yeah,
because it's definitely for a younger generation.
right.
Because
What else do we need to know about it?
everybody from here and back, we know everything,
Right,
everything. I know what else they're gonna tell us.
right, exactly.
So, but until then, keep on streaming.
Peace.